We're going to be looking at number 25 on the area and perimeter review. So you can see these questions here in front of you. And in this particular part of the review, you are supposed to find the area and the perimeter for each of these composite figures. So the first thing we're going to look at is this first question here, and I'm actually going to work it on the review where the picture is so you can sort of see this. So let me zoom into this first picture here. If I wanted to find the perimeter of really any shape with the exception of a circle, I'm just going to add up all the sides. And so I want to make sure that I add every single side here and not just the numbers shown. And so I look at this and I think, okay, I know this length and I know this length, but I don't know this length and I don't know this length. Okay. So to find this one, I'm going to think to myself, okay, this entire side right here would be 5. And this portion is 2. Okay, because I'm matching it here with this rectangle. And so I would say, okay, well, 2 plus 3 would give me the 5 length. So that tells me that this part right here is 3 feet. This part right here. Okay. And then I also need to know how much this is. Okay, so I know this whole length is 6, which tells me, let me get rid of this 5 for a moment, which tells me this whole length right here is 3, right? And if the whole length is 6, like this one, then 3 plus 3, right, would be 6. So actually both of these pieces right here are 3 feet long. All right. So if I want to find the perimeter, I'm just going to add all the sides up. So that's going to be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus the last part 6. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers, and I end up with a perimeter that is, let's see here, 5 and 3 makes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 22. Let's put a unit on that, so that's going to be 22 feet. Okay. And then if I want to find an area, I'm going to break this up into 2 pieces. Okay. So I know that it's 5 this way, 3 this way. So if I kind of think about this as its own rectangle right here, then I would have 5 feet up and 3 feet to the right. And this is a rectangle, so 5 times 3 would be 15 square feet in this part right here. And then this rectangle right here is 3 feet by 2 feet, not 6 feet. 6 feet goes all the way along here. So just 2 feet by 3 feet. 3 times 2 is 6 square feet for this part. So if I want to find area, I'm going to add my 15 square feet plus my 6 square feet, and that's going to give me 21 square feet. Okay. Let's look at the next one, which has a triangle. I need to zoom out just a little bit here. So, there we go. With this picture, if we start with perimeter, we're going to be adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Okay. I know this one, it's 140. I know this one, it's 110. This little piece right here is 50. I don't know this, so I might have to find that. And then I know 180. And then I'll be able to find my perimeter. Okay. And this to me looks like it could potentially be the side of a right triangle. So let's just make a right triangle. And then we can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared to find it. Okay, look over here. This whole side is 140. So this whole side is 140. So in order to get this missing piece right here, we're going to do 140 minus 50, and that's going to give us 90 centimeters. Same thing's going to happen down here. This whole length is 180. This is 110. So in order to get this side right here, I'm going to take my whole 180 and subtract 110. And so this side of the right triangle is going to be 70 centimeters. So then I can find the side that I actually want. So this is my unknown side of this picture right here. So I'm going to find that guy by doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's going to be 90 squared plus 70 squared is equal to c squared. Not minus, what am I doing? Plus 90 squared plus 70 squared equals c squared. And if I just put my calculator up here and do, well, my calculator just died, of course. 90 squared plus 70 squared. Let's see, 90 times 90 is 8,100 plus 70 times 70, which is 4,900. And when I combine those, I get 13,000. And I'm going to take the square root of both sides in order to get the value of C. And that's going to be roughly 114. So I'm approximating here. All right, so 114, that's about C. And so now I know the missing side of that perimeter. Okay, so now I can take my 140 and add it to my 110 and add it 50 and add 114 and then add 180, and that gets me 594. And my units there would be centimeters because I'm just counting around. Okay. In order to get my area, I've got two shapes, so I'm going to add two numbers, the area of the rectangle plus the area of the triangle. So my area of this rectangle is going to be base times height. So I'm going to do 110 times 140. And that's going to be 15,400. And then I'm going to add to that the area of my triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to do 90 times 70, and then divide that by 2. And that's going to give me 3,150. And then I can add those two values or those two areas together. Let's see, 15,400. And that's going to give me 18,550 square centimeters as my area. All right, next question. Looks like an ice cream cone. So I'm wanting area and perimeter of this guy. All right, so just looking at this, I'm just going to think about it like an ice cream cone. So if I want the perimeter, then I need to know what the slant length is. So I'm just going to make a right triangle here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if I want to figure out what this side of the figure is, I can just do 9 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared, which is going to be 81 and 16, which is 97. And then I need to take the square root of 97 in order to get an approximation of the answer. So let's see, the square root of 97 is 9.8. You can use distance formula. If you would rather use distance formula than Pythagorean theorem, that's perfectly fine. Okay, then we're going to do that again for this side. I kind of think it might be the same length, but I'm just going to check here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So same triangle will result in same Pythagorean theorem. So this right here is also 9.8. So I know when I find my perimeter here that I'm going to add this side plus the cone, or excuse me, plus the ice cream part of this. Okay, so right now I have two parts of that. I've got the cone, which is made up of the two sides of the triangle, and I need to add the ice cream. So in order to find the perimeter of this semicircle right here, I need to use pi times diameter, but I need to divide by 2 because it's only actually half a circle. Okay, so pi times diameter divided by 2. So the diameter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units long. So in order to get this answer, I'm going to take pi, multiply times 8, and then divide by 2 to make it half a circle. So 3.14 times 8, and then divide by 2, and I'm going to get 12.56. So that 12.56 is this portion of this figure. All right. So here are the two pieces of cone. 12.56 for your ice cream part, and I end up with a perimeter that is 32.16. Right? If I want to find the area is going to be the area of the semicircle plus the area of the cone. Well, the ice cream cone, but the triangle. So there's two shapes there, so I'm going to be adding together two numbers. So the difference here is when I'm looking at this picture in terms of perimeter, I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. But when I'm looking at this in terms of area, I have 1, 2 pieces. So if I want to find the area of this triangle, then I need base, which we already found was 8, times height. So I do need to count the height of this triangle. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And my base of my triangle is 8. And so the area of the triangle is going to be base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2, which is 36. Keep having to zoom out on this problem. And then if I want to add to that the area of the semicircle, to get the area of this ice cream part, now remember this was circumference right here. To get the area of it, I'm going to do pi times radius squared and divide that by 2. Again, because it's a half circle, I'm having to divide by 2. So if my diameter is 8, then my radius is going to be half that, so my radius is going to be 4. So this is going to be pi times 4 squared divided by 2. So you're looking at 4 squared, which is 16, times 3.14, and then divide that answer by 2 to make it half a circle, and that would be 25.12. So again, I went pi, or 3.14, if you don't have a nice calculator. I don't. I'm using my phone currently. Times radius squared. So my radius was 4, so I'm doing 4 squared, and dividing that by 2. And then I'm going to take those two numbers and add them. And I'm going to get 61.12 as my area. Okay. 2 more shapes here, and then we'll be done. This one's pretty easy. We can count a lot of these. We just have to find this triangle portion a little bit. So in this one, we're looking at a triangle kind of sitting on top of a rectangle. So you can see if I break this into 2 pieces, you can sort of see the triangle part and the rectangle part. But when I'm just talking about perimeter, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Which means when I find my perimeter, I should be adding 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers in order to get my final result. Okay, so I'm just going to start over on this side, and because this is vertical, I can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And then this is part of a right triangle. And I can't count it because it's slanted, so I'm going to have to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared in order to get the answer. So my a would be just 2, 1, 2. So 2 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squared equals c squared. So this is 4 plus 25 right here, 4 plus 25, which is 29. And then take the square root of 29. And you're going to get approximately 5.4 as your C value. So that length right there that I can't count, that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, is actually 5.4. And that's why I can't count it diagonally, because I'm not guaranteed that it's actually 1. So then I can just add 5 and 3 to my 5.4, and I ended up with a perimeter of 18.4. Okay, but when I'm doing area, I really only need to add 2 numbers together. Area of this rectangle and area of this triangle. So I'm going to find area of a rectangle and add that to area of the triangle. So let me start with area of the rectangle. Because there's nothing slanted, I could actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right? And say, okay, 15 is my area. Or I can do base times height, which is 3 times 5, which, by the way, is 15. Okay? Then I'm going to add to that area of the triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. Well, we already found that the base was 5. And we already found that the height was 2. And then I divide that by 2. And I'm going to just add 5 and get 20. All right, so my area is 20, and my perimeter is 18.4. All right, last one. Looks like this. Kind of stuck in the middle of the paper here. So perimeter, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I need to add 5 numbers together. Right? So to say well, here I can do this. Perimeter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of. All right, so looks like 15, 10, A triangle I don't know. And then this whole side is actually 15 plus 9, which is 24, and then another 15. Okay, so this is the triangle piece that I need to find. So again, we're solving for this right side of the triangle. So we're looking at 5 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. And so we've got 25 plus 81, which is 106. And then we take the square root of that, and we end up with this side length being approximately 2.3 is what it, or excuse me, 10.3 is what it looks like. So the missing piece of the perimeter there is 10.3. So I'm going to add 15 plus 10 plus 10.3 plus 24 plus 15 to get the perimeter, and that's going to give me 74.3. And then area, again, area is a little easier here. We're just adding up these two numbers, area of this rectangle, or actually square in this case because it's 15 by 15, plus area of this triangle. So area of the rectangle is just base times height. So that's 15 times 15, which is 225. And then area of this triangle is base times height. So 5 times 9 divided by 2. So 5 times 9 is 45, and then 45 divided by 2 is 22.5. And then I can just add those two numbers together and get that my area is 247.5. Okay, so that's area and perimeter of composite figures. Hope it helps.